they become more expensive again, right? So the structural floor for inflation might be 3% rather than 2%, as I've been saying for some time. Doesn't mean we don't go below 3% for a while, but I'm talking about what the real mean is going forward over the next 24 months or so. How does this translate to property? Well, maintenance costs, materials and labour rising faster than general inflation. We've seen a lot of that over the last 5 years. And that compresses net yields, even if gross yields are expanding, or it potentially compresses net yields. I've spoken of the new world of 3% inflation for a long, long time, and all of this just fuels my scepticism towards our true attitude on the target we've never really been worried about hitting, even in good times. What was the average CPI inflation rate 2010 to 2019? 2.7%, bear in mind. And think about, okay, we dealt with stuff in the early 2010s, potential double dip recession, still with the fallout of the financial crisis. And then we had a little wobble around Brexit time and inflation hit 4% very briefly. But compare all of that to the 2020s and what's happened to inflation, to energy price shocks and things like that. Massive, massive difference. And then we've got energy volatility. What's this all about? Well, a geopolitical flare-up in the Middle East or in Ukraine or the surrounding areas, disrupting energy supplies a little more. I'll give this a medium probability, about 40% or so. But energy is our master input for our economy and for any economy, realistically. And we rely far too much on importing energy. So a spike in oil or gas prices puts a bigger tax on the UK consumer, reduces their disposable income, not as easy to pay rent, not as easy to pay mortgages, and spikes that headline CPI, which could halt the Bank of England's cutting cycle. So don't look past these more obvious grey swans that I'm talking about. And then what about the hard landing recession?